Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Leo Naranjo, speaking to you from Morrow, Georgia. Give you a nice backdrop of the freeway behind me. Yes. Much has happened. Oh my God, 96 hours. There's a lot of things happening in California. Are you guys doing all this just for little old me to come back and to walk into the morass that you've prepped for me to walk through? Oh my God. It's hilarious. Now, on top of everything blowing up over Steve Hilton and his lovely wife, who's a British tech guru, they call that rich ladies for the regular folks, who maintains her British citizenship while living here, might be a minor problem for some of you, as you've expressed. Got a chat conversation now posted trying to get Hilton to come back to England. He said he voted Green Party. That was the end of that topic and conversation. Oh, wow. Steve, you're more socialist than even I let on. Hell, I just accused you of leaning socialist because you ran with David Serpa, who is a socialist, Republican candidate, no less. Now he's running for treasurer, but that's your buddy. That's your buddy. Helped you set up a lot of stuff. That secret cabal meeting last year, the so-called golden ticket, which is more akin to a golden shower. Hell, you might as well stand out in front of Golden Corral. That'd probably get you some votes too. Steve Hilton's trying to run up the numbers. He's buying those polls as fast as his money can be squeezed to buy them so he can look good on the numbering system. Just like the demos are pushing out the money to make Chad look good. Steve's getting caught up in his own BS and his own rhetoric. Mr. Hilton, just posted Canoga Park. Was that you out there? You people in Canoga Park heard that? Somebody asked a question of illegal aliens. Steve did everything but answer your question. Oh, he answered about immigrants. Sure, he talked about legal immigrants. He talked about what he wants to do with legal immigrants. He talked about how he's going to treat legal immigrants. But you people in Canoga Park, I hope you don't fall for the bullshit. Pardon my French, but it's factual. I hope you're not falling for the bullshit that he skirted and avoided the topic of illegal aliens. What are you going to do about them, Mr. Hilton? He doesn't answer that question because he doesn't want to get wrapped up into the conversation. It's too difficult for the immigrant to cope with. And he's a socialist anyway. According to his own records, according to his own account, buddy with the Newsoms. But maybe you didn't know that. Like many of you out there in the Republican Party claim you didn't know. I find that disingenuous because you people are always claiming how much you know and how smart you are. But you're looking kind of dumb tonight and today with all this hot news coming out about your overglorified candidatorial picks. Steve's looking kind of spotty, but he always was spotty. I think it was Amy Reichert? Oh, she's the new CEO of the so-called Doji government agency, where if I'm elected, that's short-lived. It's already a fictitious department anyway. But we'll let her have her fun. Didn't America fight against taxation without representation? Yeah, Amy, and who did we fight against? The British, or did you forget? Conveniently overlooked because he's padding your palms with some paper. Who else is he making promises to about positions, about support, about doing this, about doing that? Alleged help. Come on now. You know how this game is played? With Steve catching heat, his wife's starting to catch heat. She should have been dragged out of the woodwork a long time ago. She was the young lady that made that big noise, not in my backyard, when the rules and the laws about building affordable communities were to be imposed on those people who have communities, who don't have low-income housing. Oh my God, that's horrible. And her community was slated to be built and having built one of those so-called low-income communities in her ritzy-ass neighborhood. Until the initial report said she literally went off at a city council meeting to say, no, not in my backyard. That's a leftist mantra, not in my backyard. Especially not the rich backyard. Middle class, we don't care. Poor, we don't care. But not in my backyard if you're rich, wealthy, and affluent. So she got caught and embarrassed. I challenge those folks that like to delve deep into that. Look it up. Find out how she got that project pulled while most communities couldn't even get it stopped because they were sued into oblivion for violating that law that Gavin passed on building low-income housing inside of communities. All you got to do is have a realtor say, I want that land over there so I can build my home community, and you have to pay for it, or else I sue you and then you'll pay more. We've all seen that land power grab before. Elk Grove just got done with it. Why am I gleefully out here right now missing a wonderful movie that I could be enjoying talking with all of you folks? Smiling and kind of chuckling at the same time. Because, Chadley the coward is getting caught up with that illegal question. Amnesty. Ooh, amnesty. Mr. Bianco, you're not looking too good on the amnesty department. You call yourself a conservative Republican. Well, I dare say to challenge that freaking fact. No conservative, no real conservative pushes for amnesty. But you've managed to BS your way through this process. And I don't blame you entirely, because guess what? The powers that be helped you push your way through this process. They have guided and protected and steered you through the ranks. And why? Because some of these idiots want to see you lose. So they can say, well, we tried, but we couldn't get there. You still don't understand the concept about this man. He is not supported by the party. He never was supported by the party. They threw his ass under the bus when they thought Mel Gibson was coming into the race. You really think they cared about Chad Bianco at that point? No! Mel couldn't do it. Mel had a movie to make. Okay, Mel had a movie to make. You got it. Omitting the phone call he made with his daughter and how he wished she would get, what's the term they use? Assaulted? Sexually? By a N-word? You can look that up on your own and find out how ugly that was going to turn out if Mel Gibson would have stepped into this race to be governor. Oh my God, that would have been horrible. Maybe he has recanted. Maybe he has asked for forgiveness. Who knows? But the stain was out there and he was a tainted candidate. Now you have this guy. But then they dumped him again because they thought James Woods was going to step in. James Woods, thankfully, turned it down. He's got his own problems to deal with. Look into his background. A little bit of one-sided viewpoints as it relates to culture. Not a good look. So we're stuck with Chad, but of course, you know, that was after a month delay when the two movie actors bowed out, and then we suddenly found Bianco 1 month later, Mr. Hilton 1 month later. Ooh, we got the Fox News persona. Ha ha! And the party jumped behind him, except a few people are stuck on stupid and they jump behind Chad. And you ran for over a year and a half with the Chad Bianco, Steve Hilton nonsense, pushing them to the forefront, running them through the central committees, through the grassroots parties, through all the little groups. Because as one of you said, Mr. Mark Wright, they're not here to win, they're here to raise money for the chapters. And that's what they were doing. So-and-so got a Lincoln Log Cabin dinner, and guess what? For the first time in about a decade, they sold out all their tickets. Why? Hilton or Bianco or both were present. That's why they were chosen. Do you honestly think the Republican Party platform is being relegated to the trash heap for these two people? Let's call it what it is, folks. Are we a pro-life group or a pro-choice group? Let's start putting some pedal to the metal and answering the raw questions voters want to hear you so-called experts constantly glum to. What does the party stand for? What is the party platform in California? I don't think pro-choice was one of the planks. But I could be wrong, because we've relegated that to the dustbin so long as we get Bianco or Chad into the race. Let's not worry about that abortion question right now. Any other day, it was first and foremost that you nailed candidates with that question. So now we're a pro-choice group. Hear that, conservative Republicans? You're now pro-choice. You just didn't know it. We don't believe in Jesus. We don't believe in God, but that's okay. We can set that one aside too, because who cares? That's for Steve. We don't care that he's a dual citizenship. We wave that aside too. And besides, he said he quit. That's for Steve. Trust and verify went out the door suddenly. Leo, don't attack Republicans. Reagan put that out there. Republicans don't attack Republicans. Except Reagan also put out trust and verify. Well, we're supposed to trust Steve but not verify jack of what he said? A selective memory, people. We have a pathway to citizenship. We're trying to get these people a pathway to citizenship. That's Chad Bianco. Conservative? Oh, don't worry about that. We'll set that aside for now because the party is suddenly pro-illegal alien. Long as you don't break the law and you're an illegal alien, you can stay. And we'll give you goodies at the expense of the regular citizens because you're hard-working taxpayers, and that's okay suddenly. Gino Gavin just signed a bill stripping benefits from veterans. Well, yeah, that's something Chad would go for because he wants to keep amnesty for the illegals. More of them than there are of you, veterans. Are you paying attention? Long as they don't break the law, Leo, what's the problem? Well, shit, bring about 80 million of them into California and then tell me about the woes that we have, the irregularities we have in voting, the problems we have on making payments, why you as a citizen can't get shit because you are secondary, the illegals are primary. That's what you want? Well, not 80 million, maybe just about 5 or 6. Come on now, really? And here we have the argument that people are making online, which I find is funny as hell. Somebody had to point this one out to me because I overlooked it. Yeah, sometimes I do overlook one or two things. Chad Bianco, the sheriff of Riverside County, the man who won an election, couldn't even pull more than 12% of his own freaking voting population. You know how many voters are in Riverside County, people? 1.3 million voters in Riverside County. Wow. That's a lot of mofos. Faux show. 1.3 million eligible voters in Riverside County. You know how many people elected Chad Bianco and the guy that was running against him? How many people cast ballots? Less than 200,000 out of 1.3 million voters. Now, I'll give you this. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and a win is a win is a win, whether it's by 1 point or 1,000 points. Yes, Chad Bianco won his race. Less than 200,000 people cast ballots, but he won his race. Doesn't matter. I give you that. Problem is, you're trying to push that throughout California. You're betting on less than 15% of the population voting. Good luck with that one, because I don't see that happening. Chad Bianco will not stand up to me, a veteran, to have a one-on-one debate with a military veteran. Why would he stand up to me? Who are you? You're a nobody. You're right. So are all you vets out there that Gavin Newsom just reinforced that thought process too. You are nobodies too. That's why he stripped your benefits. So if you think I'm the only one that's unimportant as a veteran, Better take a look around you, people. Your legislature thinks that you folks are unimportant. Your governor believes that you are unimportant. The fact that he signed a law stripping benefits from you tells me that you are unimportant. You don't have to believe it. It's already a fact. It happened. Welcome to the unimportant club. But you'll get the clue because he just schooled you on where he's at with veterans. And now we have a sheriff that's afraid to deal with a veteran. And I'm only one veteran. Hell, that's all I'm asking for, sir. You and me, one-on-one. Your skills versus mine. You won't stand up to me, but you'll kneel to a mob. Now I hear you pandering to the illegals. Talking amnesty in front of them, and we're already yelling and shouting about voter fraud in California and how illegals are participating. I'm sorry, 1 + 1 = what? What are you doing, Chad? Trying to encourage the illegals to come out of the dark, cast a ballot for you that they're not supposed to be able to cast? Are you trying to massage that voter fraud element in your benefit? Sounds like a bitch move. It also sounds like a Democrat move. But that's what you're doing, sir. Virtue signaling to the illegals. Hell, Hilton do it with Romero. Got the Hispanics on my side. I got a Hispanic running on my golden shower ticket to be the lieutenant governor. Bypass Brian Dawley, powerhouse of the North. That was virtue signaling for them and for him. Bypassed E.B. Lynch. That was the African-American female running for lieutenant governor. Blew her away. A lot of signals going out around here. People catching the noise. Hilton's playing the game now. Amnesty for illegals. Do a little virtue signaling. And don't forget that one. Oh, don't forget this one. I'm going to do away with property tax. Yes, he promises to do away with your property tax. Anybody that says I'm voting for Chad Bianco because that's what he promised, we don't need voter ID, we need a voter IQ test. That man can't do jack in that department, but it's a nice pander move. It's a nice, let me see if I can buy your vote move. I kneeled to the mob way back when to let them know I give fealty to the chaos and to the riotous as opposed to protecting my city. If you were outnumbered and you already knew you were outnumbered, you should have called in for reinforcements from law enforcement, but you didn't because you thought you could handle the job. You had law and order. What did they have? A mob? You had a public to protect. What did they have? A mob? And you knelt to them. In the last 48 hours, talk about virtue signaling. What's happened for the last 2 years, 2.5 years, on this website and others in the news media? Girls having to compete with men in their sport, in their locker room. Got some young lady running around there named Trish, thrown out of a gym. And why? She dared to stand up against a trans man in her changing room space. Doesn't matter that she's a lesbian, still a woman. And she didn't appreciate a guy pretending to be a woman in her space. Schools in Riverside got a whole damn community of volleyball players getting threatened with paperwork to see if they're legally brain dead or mentally impaired, where they have to seek counseling. And why? Because those young ladies didn't want men in their locker room or on their sports. Beth Bourne running around here in Davis, getting chased out by students, by faculty, by all kinds of other Fruit Loops in Davis. Dangerous place to go because we already know about Davis. California, that is. Got Sonia Shaw promising to stand with girls and keep their sport women. Women only sports. Boys only sports. No crossing. You got people flaming and pissed and ranting and raving about men pretending to be women so they can be incarcerated with women as a trans woman. The next thing you know, rapes are going up in the jails. Is that true? Are those female prisoners just talking out of their backside so they can get privileges and benefits and maybe an easier going in their hard life? But no, they seem kind of sincere. They're pissed too. They got men inside of their jails doing what men do when nobody's looking, which is raping them in prison. And now, in the last 48 hours, while all of this is blowing up, while everybody's hot and pissed off about the illegal question, lo and behold, what does Chad do? Somebody pointed this out to me, and thank you, sir, for doing it. Chad, you've already bent the knee to the mob once. Now you got on your knees again for the LGBT community, and you created a liaison in your department to help them do what? Show that you're gung-ho supportive of the LGBT community, that you're good to go with the trans life. You trying to tap into that money and that support? That's why you did that? Wow. Wow. I want you folks out there when it finally the light bulb came on for me to picture that view right now, and you know who I'm talking about. Some of you are very attuned. I want you to visualize what it is I can't put on X or YouTube or anywhere else, because I'll be banned and flagged for life for that. But picture it in your mind. Chad Bianco kneeling to a mob, and now he's on his other knee in front of the trans community, begging for votes, begging to get out of this quagmire of the illegal alien question, begging to recover some lost ground that he's taken in the last 48 hours. You're running away from debate, sir. You're a coward. You can't even face me, but you're kneeling to the trans world. Okay. That picture speaks for itself. You'll get on your knees for them, the mobs and the trans, but you won't stand up to the veterans or the veterans at all, whether it's me or the whole group in total. You won't stand up against this illegal alien invasion. You'd rather grant them amnesty. You, sir, are not embarrassing me at all. You can look at me as an abject idiot if you want to. But what you are doing, who you are embarrassing, what you are causing is the people in the GOP, the Republican State Party, that pushed you to this pinnacle of where you're at in the race, that has stood by you, that have raved and praised you, that have all but kissed your ass because you are the man. And the more of this stuff that comes out about you, the more they gotta eat crow. Warned against what they were backing, informed that they were making a very bad decision, but you know the deal, money rules. It wasn't about you and it wasn't about me, it was about the funding for their groups, for their committees, for their areas. And now look what you're stuck with. A man that went on his knees not once but twice. You can't get any better than that. I'm gonna dig up that poll I just surfaced of me being in the 30 percentile range. Wonder how that fits with Chad now. And what's gonna happen in the next 48 hours as this gets around and circulates more. That Bianco pretty much is getting ready to kneel to whoever it is he thinks will give him a vote. Throw some memes out there about that one, ladies and gentlemen, those of you with a creative mindset, those of you that are intrigued to do that. For you folks backing him 1,000%, ask him why he won't stand in front of one veteran to have a debate. If he's so good, he should smoke me hands down. But on his worst day, excuse me, let me make a correction. On my worst day, he'll never take me. And after this little stunt, I could be half-ass rolling out of bed and still beat his ass in a debate. My name is Leo Naranjo IV. I'm having a wonderful evening. This is a great moment of time. The last 96 hours have been humorous as hell because all of a sudden this field is blowing up in this race and it ain't looking good for the baby duo of the bunch. But the grassroots people have been telling you all along, your guys' choice, the establishment choice, the picks of Bianco and Chad, Hilton and Bianco, the choice of those two was poor. You guys refused to hear the rationale. You refused to see what was painfully obvious. Now it's getting dug out, dragged out, and blown up front and center. And for some strange reason, all of you so-called smart-ass experts, the mouthy ones, the pro this, the pro that ones, the we know it all group, you've gone cold and silent. Why is that? Why is that? People see what's online, people see what's going on, people see who's making noise, who's not making noise, what they're saying, how they're saying it, when they're saying it. You guys have gone silent. And I can only surmise it's because you're getting embarrassed left and right with who you stood with and for. And some of you who have already cast your lot, CRA groups, Central Committee groups, some of you other ones that have already said, I'm for the sheriff, yeah, I'm for the sheriff, we're for the sheriff, we're for Steve. You've already made your determination and given your endorsement, you're stuck now. Can you back those up? Can you back those out? Can you rethink them? Do you even want to? Hell, in for a penny, in for a pound. Go down with the ship, you might as well. You're mad because I'm talking, but you're not mad because of what I'm talking about. You're just mad because I'm talking. Leo, we gotta have these two in the race or else we're gonna be stuck with Swalwell. Really, you think so? That's your only option? That's your only viewpoint? If they're not in the race, we're gonna be stuck with Swalwell? Again, lack of leadership and panic on your end does not make me move any faster. It doesn't discredit or discount whatever we've been saying, especially what I've been saying. Piss poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency for me. But you guys were informed that this was coming. And now here we are, and it don't get better. Because when the final day arrives, that crisp-ish deadline where everybody has to pony up, then you're gonna have the candidates all there. And then it's gonna really be a free-for-all. Certain Dems are not gonna fall out. Their egos won't let them. Certain Dems will fall out because they already know they're never gonna go anywhere. This is all about just making noise and getting their name out there. But they're toast, they know it. Lackluster candidates they are. Told you about them way back when too, over 2 years ago. Mr. Thurman, oh, he's probably one of those ones that'll drop out. He's a good old boy. Ms. Yee, she'll drop out. I think she already has. She's running for treasurer now. Maybe lieutenant governor, who knows? Villagrosa, he's Hispanic, depends on what he wants to do. He might be hard-headed and stick with it. Great, love it, hope he does. My name is Leo Naranjo IV. I hope you look at my website, check it out, donate if you can. Zelle, PayPal, it's all right there. If you want to write a check, same thing. We're not looking for the world. $50, $20, $10, $5, hell, even $1. 1.7 million of you can throw out $1. We'll start shaking up some of this field really fast, really quick. And then we'll cut loose with the real people who are trying to make a real difference in the state, not just suck up dollars because you went to a GOP function. I want you all to have a great evening. I want you to have all a great night. Enjoy the moment and the great weather. And we'll see you guys roughly in 72 hours. Take care and God bless.